people today. They could spend half their lives over 50. That's a lot of living. So it helps to have a wise friend and fierce defender in your corner. A friend like AARP. So your health lives longer.
This is just slow-mo karate?
Just slow-mo karate.
Your money lives longer.
Hey, I just bought that.
I just sold that.
And your happiness lives longer. That's why the younger you are, the more you need AARP. Join today.
Hello, my name is Teresa Collins, and I am an Executive Council member for AARP Illinois. AARP, a nonprofit, nonpartisan member organization, has been working to promote the health and well-being of older Americans for more than 60 years. AARP Illinois is proud to represent all those who are 50 plus in Illinois and our 1.7 million members. And we thank you for the opportunity to be your wise friend and fierce defender. Our mission is to enhance the quality of life for all as we age, leading positive social change and delivering value to members through advocacy, service, and information. At AARP, we know that staying fit is one of the pillars of healthy living, and we want to help you on your fitness journey. Physical activity can boost memory, improve thinking, and even lower dementia risk. It's not too late to start. AARP is proud to offer today's virtual event to start or continue you on your fitness journey. Have a wonderful class and enjoy.
Hi, I'm Brendan. I'm one of the trainers here at SSP in Alton, Senior Services Plus. And today we're going to do Get Fit using movement exploration. We're just going to I want you to be in kind of a playful mindset for this. It won't take any equipment. You might want to have a bottle of water. It is a standing workout, but no weights or anything like that. We're going to use a little bit of gravity, just general movement. And just stay loose, stay playful, and we're just going to see what we can do. Think of it almost like just a dance class almost, in that I want you to just kind of be free with some of the movements that we're going to practice. And you don't have to do anything exactly like I do it. We'll be doing some overhead stuff, maybe some deep stances, some deep squats. You just go as far as you want, okay? Do a little balancing, a little bit of strength work, and hopefully enjoy it a little bit also, okay? So I just want you to start. We're just going to kind of shake everything out, just kind of like you're shaking the water off, move around a little bit, okay? Get the wiggles out, if you want to put it that way. And then we're just going to, like I said, we're just going to start with some kind of playful movement. Now, first we're going to start with some arm swings back and forth, okay? Now you notice I'm doing this little dip here in the middle. You could do that or not. Almost like cross-country ski action now is what we're doing, just nice and easy, okay? And you don't have to swing as high as I am. You can go higher, which we'll be doing that in a second, okay? And so you're getting a little bit of motion in the arms and legs. And once again, just nice and light. This should almost be gravity doing the job. Just let your arms drop and swing to the other side, okay? And you're kind of dropping your weight with it. Like I said, think dance, think like you're a kid again. You're just exploring what you can do, okay? Now, I'm gonna start moving around at the same time, okay? So you can practice moving your feet around while you're doing this, or not. Just stay in that same spot. You can go deeper. You can bring your arms up higher, however you want to do it, okay? Now, if you can comfortably get your arms overhead, we're going to start doing almost like a flutter kick, but with our arms, okay? And keep moving around, okay? And once again, you can move around as much or as little as you want, but I want you to think about being light on your feet while you're doing this, okay? Pretend like there's helium in your shoes, okay? Get a little bit of a bounce going. Now we're going to do a backstroke. And same thing, you can keep moving or just stand still, it doesn't really matter. And keep breathing. And through the nose, out through the mouth. Okay, now we're going to go to wax on, wax off. Okay? Just like on the Karate Kid. So we're putting the wax on right now. Just nice circles. Like I said, we're just exploring different motions while we're moving around. Now wax off. And we can make tighter circles. We can move around a little bit more, a little bit less. You can get lower, make bigger circles. And you might be feeling this in the shoulders already, even with no weights. You still might be feeling this in the shoulders some. Okay. So we're just making nice circles going in. Let's go back to wax on. And same thing with the feet. Move them around. You can get really low. You can get up high, like trying your tiptoes, and back to low, or just stay normal. And you notice that it's a coordination exercise also. Now, we're going to walk like an Egyptian. I just want you to go side to side. So, see, I'm keeping my elbows bent, turning one up and the other down. And look what I'm doing with my feet. They're turning in the same direction. Okay? Try to keep your chest up, chin up. I'm going to go a little bit faster. You can turn your shoulders and hips a little bit more in and out. Okay? Like I said, just think of it like as almost a dance class. We're just moving in different directions. That's all we're doing. And at the same time, we're getting a little bit of a joint rotation there, loosening up the joints. Good. You can speed it up. Slow it down, make it smaller. You can really push out if you want more of a stretch. You can really push out if you want to. You can rotate the joints more. You can rotate those shoulders more if you want also. Okay? And once again, you might feel this as a strength exercise too, which is fine. We're trying to rotate that shoulder in the socket. You can push it out, you can kind of pull it in. You can tighten it up or keep it loose. Doesn't really matter. Like I said, the speed doesn't really matter either. Okay. Now, we're going to do some housework. We're going to polish the table. So now it's kind of like the wax on, wax off, but we're a little bit lower in our stance, and it's a horizontal circle. Okay. And same thing, you can move side to side with it. You can go lower in your stance, however you want to do it. Okay, now we're just going to start doing horizontal circles. And same thing, you can stay low, you can stay high. Now first, I want you to get your back nice and straight and think about keeping your belly button pointed forward. Okay? So it's the part of the body, the upper body, that we're getting a little bit of a twist in. So the mid part of the spine, okay? And nice and gentle. Now, we're gonna go a little bit more vigorous. Now I want you to start putting your lower body into the movement also. And once again, you can do this with as much or as little energy as you want. We're just trying to get the shoulders nice and loose. And once again, you also feel this a little bit in the midsection. Just kind of fling your arms around. I don't know if you can hear, but I'm actually putting a little bit of force into it. It's almost kind of a self-massage in a way. Or beating up on yourself, however you want to put it. I know I do that sometimes. And if anything like this, you start feeling like in the shoulders or in your back a little bit too much, just bring it down a little bit. Okay? And that goes for all these movements. Okay. Now, we're going to be doing a diagonal reach now. Okay? I just want you to start reaching crisscross, up and down, and I want you to start playing around with maybe trying it on one foot and the other foot, or if you don't want to go all the way to one foot, see if you can just put one foot in front and one foot in back. So now I'm just touching the back foot to the floor, and most of my weight's on the front foot. And that way you're getting a little bit of balance training without completely being on one foot, okay? And same thing, just go side to side and up and down. And see how far you can go and without bending too much at the back. Try to think bend from the hips. You can go way over and way up, stretch way up. Okay, now we're gonna make a deep arc. Okay, now, so it's like an arch, but upside down. And you notice I'm dropping my weight with my arms. This is very similar to that very first exercise we started with, except this is side to side. And you want to pay attention to your knees. If you start getting like some pain in the knees, just don't go as deep. If you're feeling pretty good, you can go real deep. Get a nice little workout in the legs. Very good. You can go smaller once again. This is kind of like orchestra and conductor. You can just be up here with small arcs, high stance, or it can go way low, big stance, big arcs. So like I said, we're just playing with just different kinds of movement. That's all it is. You can go as far or not as you want to. Okay. Now we're going to do some sword cuts. So once you pretend like you have a sword in your hand and you're going to cut to one side, then cut to the other. Cut down and across, down and across. You notice what I'm doing with my feet now. I'm replacing the front foot with the back foot as I do this. Okay, so you come way up. I always pretend like I'm a samurai when I'm doing this. I don't know about you. You can pretend you're a knight in shining armor, or just do the movement. It's completely up to you. Okay, but you can go bigger, way back, or smaller. Now we're going to do that same kind of movement, but we're going to do a figure 8. And you notice I'm still doing that same movement pattern with my feet. I'm replacing the front foot with the back foot as I go. So we're getting a little bit of agility work here too. A little bit of quick stepping. But if you can't go at this pace, nice and slow. Okay, it doesn't matter. You can keep it nice and slow, almost like Tai Chi if you want, and just work on this basic pattern. You can go way up, way down, way up, way down, or you can just make small motions. Okay. Now, if you want to stop and get a drink of water, that's fine. I'm going to kind of shake it out a little bit. Okay. And when I say shake it out, this is kind of an act of relaxation. Okay, so you like shaking the water off your legs, shaking the body a little bit. Okay, like I said, you can even really just shake the tension out, but so you're losing tension, but in an active way. And that's a really good way if you're, say, in a weight room, or if you're lifting weights or doing any kind of an exercise, any kind of a workout, and you want to rest for a minute. This will allow you to rest while keeping your muscles kind of activated at the same time. Okay? Now, I'm going to get a little bit into the legs now, a little bit deeper. And we're going to do a little bit more housework. Okay, so we're going to pretend like maybe we got a little messy. Maybe the kids or the grandkids were over and didn't pick up after themselves. So we're going to go around and pick up socks. Okay, so what we're going to do, and once again, you can go as deep or not as you want to, as is comfortable with you. But what we're going to do is pick up the socks, throw them in the hamper. Pick up the socks, throw them in the hamper. Pick up the socks, throw them in the hamper. Okay? You can do one hand, you can do two hands, Doesn't really matter. You can keep your stance a little bit more narrow. You can go deeper or not. It's completely up to you. Okay? So pick them up, throw them in the hamper. Pick them up, throw them in the hamper. So we're just cleaning the room. You can move around as much or as little as you want to. Pick them up, throw them in the hamper. Throw them in the hamper. And you can go slow. You can pause in between. Okay? If it's starting to get to your legs, especially your quads, then you can come up, pause for a second, and then do it. And take a deep breath in and go on pause. Throw it in the hamper. Take a deep breath in, however you want to do it. This is all challenge by choice. I don't want to give you a certain number of repetitions to do or even a certain amount of time. I just want you to see what you can do and still keep a playful mindset. I don't want you to think that you're working out. I want you to think you're just exploring. Once again, just like a little kid, just play with it. Okay? Now, earlier I had mentioned Tai Chi. And what we're going to do now, I call a Tai Chi walk. It's just, we're going to shift weight nice and easy from one foot to the other. It's almost like when you first learned how to walk when you were a little kid. Okay? But we'll get a little bit of leg workout in it also. So what I want you to do is pretend like you're thinking your way on how would you walk if you didn't know how. So you're going to put one foot in front, and you're going to gradually put more weight on that foot. And then you're going to bring the other foot in and then circle it out. And same thing, try to stay kind of low. If it hurts your knee, stay higher. Okay? I'm going to pull that foot in and out. So I'm making these little circle steps. Okay? And do that again. Pull it in and out. I'm going to go backwards. Same thing. See, I'm transferring the weight from one foot to the other, which people do naturally. It's something you don't necessarily have to think about. You couldn't think about it really and be able to actually walk. But if you slow down and try to think, if you have a toddler around, a grandkid or something, and watch them figure out how to do this. Kind of put yourself in that mindset. And just kind of gradually in and out. And I'm getting ready to hit the wall back here. We're just going to keep going back and forth with that. Nice and slow. And if you go fairly deep, this can be a good quad burner. Okay? So you might feel this quite a bit in your legs. And you just see how gracefully you can do it. And you notice some of my steps are more graceful than another one. I'm sure yours will be too. Okay? But I don't want you to get in a hurry. It's nice and slow and nice and smooth. Now, once again, shake it out a little bit. Next one's a little bit more simple, but very similar. This is a monster walk. Now, a lot of times you might have it, if you've ever had a trainer put a band around your legs and do this, it's a very good exercise in that case. In this case, it's still a really good exercise, but it's going to work a little bit different. And all you do is get down in a low stance, almost like a wrestler stance. And you know how earlier I was telling you kind of stay low? Same thing with this, we're gonna stay low, but now we're gonna go side to side, okay? So I'm just gonna take a couple steps over, hopefully not out of the frame, and a couple steps back. We're just gonna keep doing that back and forth. Once again, just a couple. And same thing, you can get as low or as high as you want. Doesn't really matter. Back and forth. And you can come up and go back down, and up and back down. Or like I said, you can just stay low. Of course, staying low is a little bit more difficult. You're not giving your legs any rest then. And you can, if you want to, angle while you're doing this, kind of like what we were doing earlier. Like I said, just play around. Okay, once again, just shake it out a little bit. And once again, if you want to get a drink of water, that's fine. But for now, I still want you to stay loose, nice and bouncy. In a little bit, we're not going to be so loose, but I want you to stay nice and bouncy. Now, speaking of balance, balance is one of those things that we lose as we get older. I know I'm feeling it. I've definitely felt the loss in balance as I've gotten older. But if you think about it, it's a very important skill to have. And it is a skill. We just kind of quit being bouncy like kids. We kind of, when we get older and become more serious, we start losing it. Then as we get physically older, we just kind of like start letting gravity take over sometimes. We don't want to do that. We want to keep a little of our balance, okay? So think like jumping rope, that kind of thing. If you can still do that, I highly recommend it. A minute a day of jump rope will do wonders. But what we're going to do is we're going to do this is a type of footwork, and we kind of did it earlier, moving the back foot to the front and front foot to the back, but we're going to add a little bit to it. And this comes from actually a martial art, an African martial art called capoeira. And it's a very fascinating martial art. It looks like dance. It's based on dance. And Jenga is what they call the basic footwork. And yes, it does sound like the game. This is the basic footwork pattern they use. And it's a very fun way of moving. So what you're going to do is start off almost like in a wrestling stance. We're going to be kind of low. Okay, now we're going to step back onto one foot. I want you to transfer most of the weight onto that foot. Once again, this is all based on you, but I want you to think bounce back and forward, and then out. Whatever foot came forward, that foot stepping out, and now you're going back with the other foot. And then forward, out, back, forward, out, back, forward, out, back, forward, out, back. Okay, and I want you to try to keep your heels light. You don't have to keep them up off the floor, but think keeping the heels light. Now, you can also move your arms with this. So I like to go opposite arm back. Right foot goes back, left arm goes back. Okay? So you just bring your foot forward and out, and the other foot back. So you're kind of bouncing from side to side and front to back. Like I said, you bounce as much or as little as you want. It doesn't have to be a whole lot. I just want you to feel like gravity's not winning, okay? You can beat the gravity. We can beat the gravity because, like I said, I feel it too. I feel myself shuffling quite a bit last couple years. I don't like it. And yeah, we all need to put the balance back in our step. And there's a reason why that's a popular expression. Put the balance in your step. Okay? And this is definitely simpler than jump rope. It's physically easier, but you're still getting that same kind of bounce effect. And you're going in a different direction, so you're practicing the step reflex for if you lose your balance, that kind of thing. And there's just enough force when you're coming down to maybe help out a little bit when it comes to bone loss, that kind of thing. Okay? And this is you might get a pretty decent aerobic response from this also. So you notice my front foot is actually coming off just a little bit. Doesn't have to be a whole lot or really at all. You can even just slide. You can slow it down and slide. Just forward and back. Okay? Or like I said, in, out. Forward, in, out. And just slide your feet on the floor. Or, like I said, bounce. Now, you want to bounce. Think about the ankles being rigid. Okay, so when you're bouncing, you don't want loose ankles. You want them to be a little rigid, a little tight. And think of your calves and your quadriceps like springs. Okay? Nice and easy. Okay, and relax. I have no idea how long we did that, but hopefully you got a little bit of bounce out of it. And it's just it's a fun thing to me. It's just very fun to just keep moving around like that. Like I said, practice that kind of bouncy movement. And yeah, you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to try to go really high or anything like that. But just a little bit of a bounce in your step is always good. Okay? Now we're going to do a little bit of strength work. Okay? And this, for the most part, will be getting stronger by making one group of muscles work against their opposite. Okay? And you want to remember with something like this, it can, almost like lifting weights, increase your blood pressure while you're doing the exercise. So that's something you do want to watch out for, because you're actively tensing your muscles as if you're lifting weights. And once again, the muscles don't know the difference if they're working against a weight or gravity or another muscle. They just tense. Okay? And first thing we're going to do is we're going to practice drawing a bow. So I want you to put one arm out like it's holding a bow, and the other hand is close to it. Now, I want you to pull that arm back, and while you're pulling that arm back, tighten the muscles up just like you're pulling on a bow. So you'll feel this in the upper back, the back of the shoulders. I'll go back, and same thing, pull. And actually the biceps too. So draw the bow. Pretend it's like a really difficult bow to draw. Draw the bow. Okay. And remember, while you're drawing the bow with one arm, you're pushing it out with the other. So really, both shoulders should go back. And if you've never done archery, I'm sure you can figure it out. But most of us at some point, either in PE class in high school or something, have drawn a bow before. Now we're going to go to the other side. Stand the other arms out straight. Grab that string and draw the bow. Draw the bow. Okay. Tighten it up. Pull hard. Pretend like this is a really difficult bow to draw. And like I said, the muscles should tighten up because the opposing muscles are tightened up. So you're working both sides of a joint when you're doing this kind of motion. And this is actually called dynamic tension, moving tension. It's very similar to isometrics, but you're moving with it. Okay. Now, we're going to get in a stance called a horse stance, as in riding a horse. Okay, and once again, this can be as low or as high as you want. It's basically like, I like to go about double shoulder wide and just kind of almost like a squat with your knees slightly pushed out. And you can point your toes out a little bit if you want to also. Okay, and just kind of set into it. But you want from the hips on up to be straight. Don't lean over, anything like that. Okay, now we're just drawing a bow. Now we're going to push on the wall. I want you to put your hands up and pretend like you're doing a push-up, okay? So your stomach will tighten up, your chest will tighten up, and you're going to push straight ahead, okay? Now you're going to bring your hands back, take a deep breath in while you're doing it, and then tighten up all the muscles around the shoulders. Pull the hands back, pull the fingers back as far as you can, and again. And when you tighten up the stomach, make sure that you're not just hunching over. So keep good posture while you're tightening the stomach up. I'm doing kind of a power breath out while I'm doing this. Okay, now we're going to do, shake that out a little bit. Now we're going to do a punch. And this is going to be, once again, we mentioned archery, we mentioned Tai Chi. This is like a karate type punch. I want you to put one leg in front and most of the weight will be on that leg. It's almost like a lunge, okay? You're going to put that hand out, make a fist with it. Now, the other hand is going to come out while the front hand comes back. That's why it's called reverse punch, opposite side, okay? But once again, you're going to do it with tension. Pretend like you have a rubber band attached to the wall behind you, and you're pushing against that rubber band, okay? And I want you to feel, I'll go back the other way and do it again. I want you to tighten that hand up, that fist up, make it into a piece of iron, okay? And you'll get a little bit of a torque in the mid-spine again. But I want you to think, if you're really pushing against something here, where would you feel it? You would feel it like in the glute. You would feel it in the leg pushing down into the floor. You'll feel it in the midsection. You'll feel it in the chest. You'll feel it in the triceps. Okay, around the shoulders. Really tight. Let's do that one more time. Okay, let's go to the other side. So once again, your feet are in a lunge position, but wide at the same time, so it's nice and stable, okay? Whatever leg is out, put that same hand out, other hand is back. He's going to drive that fist forward, okay, like you're really punching something hard. Pretend like you're really angry at somebody, okay? And just drive it forward. Couple more. And once again, you should be feeling this in the glutes, the midsection, the chest, the triceps. Take that a little bit. Okay. Now, we're going to do almost like the wall push, but this comes from another martial art. This is called a sanchin stance, or sanchin push. Okay, that's what I call it, at least. I want you to have your feet a little bit pigeon-toed for this. Okay, so think the sides of your feet at least forward. Most people think big toe pointed forward. Think pinky toe pointed forward, so it's a little bit pigeon-toed. Trying to grip the floor with your feet and pull yourself down into the floor, like you're actually, like your toes really are digging into the floor and you're pulling yourself into it, okay? Now, bring both your hands up right up into your armpits with a nice tight fist and pull your shoulders back at the same time. Now what you're gonna do, instead of pushing straight out, you're gonna kind of go down until your hands are about even, stay with your pelvic bone, okay, or just below your belly button, and then pull them up and in. So you should be feeling this in the upper back. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then squeeze down. And when you're squeezing down, just like we were talking about earlier with the pushing the wall, pretend almost like you're trying to do a crunch, okay, but you're not letting your spine bend. Okay, so I want a nice, strong abdomen here, like a really tense abdomen. So you're squeezing the floor, pulling yourself down, and tightening the abdomen at the same time. Breathe in, expand the chest, and let's do that again. I want you to really tighten the stomach up, almost to the point where it's cramping. Let's do that one more time. Okay, and relax. Okay, and shake it out. Okay, very good. We're about done now. I just want to do a couple warm down exercises, okay? First one, we're just going to do another lunge, almost exactly what we're doing before, but what I want you to do is drop back and you can go ahead and take it way back and out and point that back foot to the front. And keep a good posture and a proud chest, okay? And I want you to push that back hip forward. So we're stretching the hip flexors here. You know, you're also stretching that back calf a little bit also, okay? Now while you're doing this, we're gonna do kind of a shoulder dislocate, okay? You're gonna take a nice deep breath in and bring the arms up and back. You can do this as close to the body as you want to, really as close as you can, okay? Do that again. So try to get your hands keep your hands as close as you can. I have difficulty a little bit in both shoulders, so I can only get them so close. But some people can really get their hands close together when they're doing this. Okay? And I just want you to keep breathing. Okay, now put the other leg in front. And same thing. Just gonna point both feet to the front, push that back calf down toward the floor, and push the front hip down and forward so you're feeling a stretch right here. Proud chest, and now this workout that we did today, I like to call this kind of thing a play out, not a workout, because I want you to feel more invigorated after it's done, not like you can't go out and do anything. I want you to feel like, yeah, you can get up and around and still do stuff, and you're not completely trashed. Okay, so it's kind of like a battery charge more than a workout. And yeah, I really like that, just knowing that you did something for yourself, but you don't have to completely feel like, I don't want to have to do that again, you know. Now, let's just do a nice, relaxed stretch to the side, okay? But I said to the side, but it's mostly for the hammy here, okay? I want you to put most of your weight on one leg and point the other foot up and out, okay? And all I want you to do is think about taking your belly button down toward that knee, okay? Now, we're gonna take a deep breath in through the nose, and as you let it out, I want you to give an active sigh, like, and you'll notice that the muscle automatically relaxes a little bit. Okay, let's do that again. And one more time. And you should be feeling this in the hamstring, not in the back of the knee. And you notice I'm not having you do this. I don't want you to collapse forward. I'll come back up. And we're going to do that to the other side. And you don't need to do that to get a stretch in the hamstring. You don't have to collapse forward. Okay? You just need to move from the hips. And just relax. Okay. And go ahead and come up. And shake it out a little bit more. And